Chapter 3: Serious Stink, False Alarms, and Monstrous Mayhem. The rift in Vegfrutopia had grown wider than a split cantaloupe, and tensions simmered like a pot of overboiled cabbage. In Spudville, the vegetables were doubling down on their war efforts, and Colonel Collie Cauliflower was determined to tip the scales. "We need someone meaner than a bruised rutabaga," he grumbled, pacing the yam-paved war room. His florets quivered as he hatched a plan to recruit the most serious vegetable in the land, a legend whispered only in hushed tones for fear of his wrath. His name, Sneezing Pickle Turd Stinky Poo. Even saying it risked a violent outburst, so Collie just called him the serious one and sent a courier radish to fetch him. Sneezing Pickle Turd Stinky Poo lived in the shadowy pickle pits, a sour swamp where the air reeked of vinegar and despair. He was a towering gherkin, his skin a mottled green-brown, with a scowl so deep it looked carved by a dull paring knife. His eyes glowed like rancid olives, and his fists were knobby as unpeeled turnips. He hated his name, hated anything remotely silly, and if a whiff of unseriousness dared enter his presence, he'd lash out like a tornado in a tomato patch. When the radish arrived, trembling and muttered, "Colonel Collie needs you," Sneezing Pickle Turd Stinky Poo snarled, "No jokes, no giggles, or I'll pickle your hide." The radish nodded mutely, and off they went, the serious one stomping toward Spudville, ready to squash any fruit or fool who dared cross him. Meanwhile, over in the pear plains, Pippa Pineapple and Berry Banana were kicking back under a peach tree, sipping on some fermented apricot juice, when they noticed something odd. "Where's that melon-headed goof?" Pippa asked, her spiky crown tilting. Barry peeled himself upright, scanning the orchard. "Wally's gone!" No smashed shrubs, no dumb puns, nothing. They rummaged through the village, overturning mango crates and quizzing a gang of grumpy grapefruits, but Wally's trail had gone colder than a frozen pea. "Bet those veggie varmints got him," Barry muttered, his yellow skin turning a furious shade of overripe. Pippa's eyes narrowed, her spikes bristling. "Those starchy sadists must have mashed him into juice. I'll bet they're laughing over his rind right now." It was a wild leap, but anger was juicier than logic. They stormed into the village square where the fruits were polishing their "vegetables are stale and boring" signs. "Listen up!" Pippa bellowed, hurling a pineapple grenade into the air for effect. It exploded in a shower of sticky chunks. "The veggies killed Wally Watermelon," Barry added, slipping dramatically on his own peel for emphasis. The crowd gasped. Kiwis bristled, oranges rolled in outrage, and the watermelons spat seeds in a mournful salute. "To war!" they roared, their fury ripe and ready to burst. Out in the broccoli badlands, General Tater Tot trudged alone, his mashed ammo sack slapping against his starchy back. The badlands were a tangled jungle of towering broccoli stalks, their florets swaying like menacing green fists. The local Brock bandits, wild, impulsive broccoli with tempers as short as their stems, didn't take kindly to outsiders. "Oi, you ain't green enough," snarled Brock Boss Bruiser, a hulking head with florets like spike clubs. Tater Tot glared, hefting his spud knife. "I'm passing through to mash a melon, not to chat." That was the wrong answer. The Brock bandits charged, their stalks snapping like whips. Bruiser swung a floret fist, but Tater Tot ducked, countering with a mashed potato uppercut that splattered green goo across the dirt. Another broccoli lunged, only to get a faceful of starchy shrapnel from Tater's sack. "Back off, you leafy lunatics," he roared, slashing through vines as the Brocks howled in rage. By the time he hacked his way to the far side, he was coated in broccoli bits, muttering, "Wally's rind better be worth this." Far beyond the Badlands, Wally Watermelon rolled into a land so foreign it made his seeds shiver. The eggplant wastes stretched before him, a bleak, oozing expanse of purple muck and twisted, gnarled eggplant trees. The ground squelched under his rind, releasing whiffs of rot that smelled like a mix of spoiled guava and sweaty socks. Jagged rocks jutted up like rotten teeth, and the sky hung low, a bruised aubergine hue. Well, this place is uglier than a moldy mushmelon, Wally quipped, trying to keep his spirits up. Then he heard it, a low, wet growl that rumbled like a stomach full of bad beans. From the shadows of a drooping eggplant tree lumbered a monster, the sludge squash beast. It was a hulking squash gone wrong, its body a slimy, mustard yellow blob, dripping with ooze that hissed as it hit the ground. Its eyes were sunken pimento pits, and its mouth gaped wide, lined with jagged pumpkin seed teeth. Tentacle-like vines writhed from its back, tipped with snapping radish heads that chomped the air. "Oh, peel me!" Wally yelped, his goofy grin faltering. The beast roared, a sound like a tuba full of mud, and charged. Wally rolled for his life, his bulk bouncing over the muck as vines lashed at his rind. "I just wanted laughs, not lunch," he wailed, dodging a radish tentacle that snapped inches from his stem. The sludge squash beast sloshed after him, leaving a trail of slime as it bellowed, "Fresh melon meat!" Wally zigzagged through the wastes, his heart pounding like a seed-spitting contest gone wild, the monster hot on his heels. Back in Vegfrutopia, the stage was set for chaos. Sneezing pickle turd Stinky Poo marched into Spudville, scowling at a giggling pea who barely escaped a pickling. The fruits of pearplanes sharpened their spikes, convinced Wally's death demanded revenge. Tater Tot emerged from the Badlands, bruised but unbroken, his hunt for Wally fiercer than ever. And Wally, he rolled on, a melon on a mission, chased by a nightmare squash through a land that made even his fart seem fragrant. The Great Fart War was about to get a whole lot messier and goofier than anyone could peel for.